There's nothing more romantic than getting married right before your new spouse is about to go away to prison for life. That's what happened with Danne Desbrow and his now wife, Destiny. Apparently, they were dating when they were about 16 years old. Destiny got pregnant, and after she got pregnant, they left one another and they lost communication. Many years later, it turns out that Danne Desbrow was on trial for murder. He he actually was sentenced to 53 years after he got convicted to murder, 53 years to life. And at the sentencing, it turns out that he wanted to marry his fiancé, so the judge agreed to marrying them right after he was sentenced. So the way it played out was they asked him to marry them. She says yes. Then she sentences them, or sentences him. And then right after the sentencing, they escort the victim's family out of the courtroom, and then the judge marries them, goes to the back, and brings out a vanilla bundt cake that she baked.
What?
That she baked.
The judge baked?
The judge.
She baked it. She baked it.
It's insane.
Wow. No,
Yeah.
I was actually going to maybe even Supreme Court this because, look, it just saves court time, and I get it. And she's like, oh, you want to get married? Doesn't matter. Yeah, you're going away for 53 years. Sure. You two are married. Go away.
We can still Supreme Court it. Because I think
But the cake put it over the top. Who's going to vote for the cake?
I don't really care that much about the cake.
Wow. Drop it. So what do you say? Judge, guilty or not guilty?
Okay, it all depends on the sentencing. So the sentencing occurred prior to the actual ceremony, and he was sentenced to 53 years to life. That is a harsh sentence. So since the sentence is harsh, I am going to say not guilty, and I don't care about the cake. I think the cake is totally irrelevant.
No, guilty. Look, it's just not appropriate. The victim's family was right there. They were
escorted out before the cake came.
It's a super serious, issue, and it kind of makes light of it. And the judge is a weirdo. Like to bake a cake for this guy who killed someone and you're sending away for 53 years?
Yeah.
No, there's something wrong with it. And I'm going to do something that I know a lot of people are going to hate. I'm going to make it slightly racialist. If they were black, there's no way the judge is baking them a cake and saying, oh, sure, you killed someone. Fantastic. Now you're married. I'll preside.
Look, we don't know that. We don't know anything about that judge, so I feel weird even commenting on that.
I know, and I'm a little out of bounds. Look, I know that.
The reason why the cake doesn't bother me, and I get it, it is disrespectful to the family of the victim. There's no question about it. They were escorted out of the courtroom. They weren't there.
Imagine you're the family of the victim.
Yeah, I would be kind of annoyed. First of all, I would be annoyed that they're getting married in the first place. Why are they getting married? He's going to spend the rest of his life in prison. He's going to appeal the case. The reason why he got convicted was because, and this was a murder that occurred a decade ago. The reason why he got convicted is because a key witness came forward and testified against him. Okay, and he maintains that the reason why it happened was because he was defending himself. He's going to appeal. Who knows what's going to happen with all of that, right? But the thing that matters to me the most, and I want to emphasize this, is that he got the appropriate sentence. If the judge had given him a ridiculous sentence of like 15 years or something like that, then I'd be like, yeah, that woman's crazy. The cake is insensitive. I'm not going to say like, oh, the cake is totally fine, but it's irrelevant to the sentencing, so I don't care.
All right, I hear you. We're split on this 1-to-1.
Of course they have the right to get married. You go over the top with the ceremony. There's plenty of people who get married and then don't do the dressing up, don't have family and friends show up and cry and be like the witness and here's the ring. He goes to jail, sign your papers, make it legal. We need all the rest of that BS to happen. Because as you said, the family's there, and really, if the point is to be married, it's a legal document. That's what you're going for. Do that. Get out of the way. And don't do it in front of everyone, and don't actually include the judge. I don't know where that happened. There must be some like relative nature here with that judge and those people. The only way I can see it.
Yeah, that's partly why I was bringing up the racial point. And look, I get that it's not fair. I don't know the situation in that regard, et cetera. But I feel like the judge in that situation feels like, oh, they made a mistake. Like, I can relate to these people. Whereas if it's mixed races, I don't think the judge necessarily thinks like, I can relate to these people. It was a mistake. I gave him 53 years, but I baked him a cake, right? Like if they're from the same neighborhood, I can see this happening. If they're from the same race, sometimes I can see it happening.
Look, the more we talk about it, the more I'm changing my mind about the cake. Not because of the race thing. I'm not buying the race thing because I don't know her, right? But the cake,
I don't mean to impugn her character in that way. So that's why it's really unfair. But I'm just saying, as a general thing, I just would be really, really surprised.
Yeah.
Right. So, are you swinging your vote?
Yeah, I'm swinging my vote. It's insensitive. I felt that it was insensitive in the beginning, but the reason why I didn't care was because he got the sentence he deserved. But now I realize, if that was my family member that got murdered, I'd be livid. So yeah, it was wrong. She shouldn't have baked the cake.
All right, you see that? Look, man, this is how America should work, where people actually listen to each other, and if it makes sense, change your mind, etc. When's the last time you saw someone in Congress say, you know what, the honorable gentleman from Connecticut made a good point, I changed my mind, right? Never, literally in my life, never, right? So, but on this TYT Supreme Court, we're much more open-minded than that.